next Inside Edition on Kris 6.
This morning, New Zealand is ready to pass new gun laws following that deadly mosque attack in Christchurch. We have the latest.
Plus, the FBI has joined the growing investigation into how the now grounded Boeing 737 MAX was certified to fly.
And how safe is your pickup? A highway safety organization releases their findings. See where yours ends up on the list as we cover that and more here on Sunrise.
From Kris Communications, this is Kris 6 News Sunrise with Mike Gillespie, Priscilla Torres, and meteorologist Maclovia Perez. Live from the Kris Communications Broadcast Center in the heart of downtown Corpus Christi.
Well, good Friday Eve, and thanks for joining us here on the 21st day of March.
So I heard something earlier.
Yes.
That there's going to be some sun today.
Where would you have heard such a thing?
It's a rumor.
I don't know.
It's a rumor.
Unsubstantiated rumor.
Should I go
say.
buy a lotto ticket too?
Well, you know, maybe it's a good idea because all of a sudden here we are, the first full day of spring, and it's going to feel like it, folks. Yes, we're looking for clearing skies. As you can see on this map, we've got clear skies right here, Port A all the way down. The low-level cloud cover that we've had over the last couple of days, it's going to move away, and we're going to get some sunshine today. About midnight, the winds turn to the north right about here. It's fairly light, but dry air is rolled in, and all of a sudden, we're evaporating all that stuff. Now, to the south at this hour, we have some fog down in Falfurrias, but to the north, everybody's got 10-mile visibility or better. And so, yes, I think you're going to see the sun today, and we'll talk more about it and what to expect for the weekend coming up in a moment. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Mac. As we begin this hour, semi-automatic assault weapons and assault rifles are now being banned in New Zealand.
New Zealand's Prime Minister announced those new gun laws in response to last Friday's mosque attack that left 50 people dead. Laura Podesta reports.
Less than 1 week after the New Zealand massacre that horrified the world, the nation's Prime Minister announced immediate and sweeping gun law reforms.
The nation witnessed a terrorist attack that demonstrated the weakness of New Zealand's gun laws. Every semi-automatic weapon used in the terrorist attack on Friday will be banned in this country.
Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said in today's news conference, legislation is being drafted urgently. Friday shootings at 2 Christchurch mosques left 50 worshippers dead.
The time for the mass and easy availability of these weapons must end.
Buyback programs will be created for people who already own the banned weapons, and gun sellers will be expected to return a wide range of products to suppliers.
We will ban all high-capacity magazines. We will ban all parts with the ability to convert semi-automatic or any other type of firearm into a military-style semi-automatic weapon.
Ardern said the suspect bought his weapons legally with a standard license and enhanced their firepower with what she called a simple online purchase.
They had the power to shoot continuously, but they also had large-capacity magazines.
Ardern expects the new law to be in place by April 11th, but an interim ban starts today to try to prevent stockpiling.
Well, the man accused of targeting some of President Trump's critics with mail bombs is expected to plead guilty in federal court today. Cesar Sayoc Jr. has been charged with sending homemade pipe bombs to prominent Democrats, such as former President Obama and former Secretary of State Clinton. He is also accused of sending the explosive devices to the New York headquarters of CNN. At least a dozen suspected mail bombs were intercepted before Sayoc was arrested in late October. He faces up to life in prison.
Arizona Senator Martha McSally is expected to give an update on actions she's taken to combat sexual assault within the military. The retired Air Force colonel revealed at a congressional hearing last week that she is a military sexual assault survivor. Advocacy groups are hoping Congress passes a bill that would change how sexual misconduct is handled in the armed forces.
A jury has found Monsanto's Roundup weed killer did play a role in causing cancer. It's the second time in 8 months that a jury has reached a decision like that. But 70-year-old Edwin Hardeman's case against the company is the first to be tried in federal court. Hardemans claims that he had used Roundup since the 1980s and developed cancer in 2015. Another man also sued the company back in August and received a payout of $78 million, which is still pending.
This is a big loss for Bayer and Monsanto. It proves that juries are being convinced that Roundup is causing cancer.
The company says they are disappointed in the jury's decision and continue to believe that their product does not cause cancer. Monsanto is expected to be back in court for a third trial next week.
She's accused of abusing her 7 adopted children, and today that woman is in custody in Arizona. 48-year-old Michelle Hobson faces several charges, including child abuse and unlawful imprisonment. Her children reportedly told police she would beat them and lock them in a closet without food, water, or access to a bathroom for days. She allegedly punished the children if they forgot their lines or didn't perform as they were directed to in her YouTube videos.
When I saw them out there, it wasn't like normal, like they're excited to be making a video. It was more like, you stand here, you do this, and the little kids would just stand there and wait their turn.
Hobson's 2 adult sons are also facing charges of failing to report the abuse of a minor. The YouTube videos have since been taken down. How were the now grounded Boeing 737 MAX jetliners certified to fly? That's the question the FBI is asking.
This as new details have emerged from the terrifying final moments aboard that Lion Air flight before it crashed last fall in Indonesia. Tom Costello has more.
NBC News has confirmed the FBI has joined the investigation, looking at how Boeing's 737 MAX was certified for flight. The worldwide MAX fleet remains grounded following 2 fatal crashes in 5 months. And now more information about the final moments on the Indonesian flight last October. In the air for just 12 minutes, the Lion Air pilots tried desperately to pull up the nose of their 737 MAX 8, but the anti-stall system called MCAS pushed the nose down more than 20 times. 3 people who heard the plane's black box recordings tell Reuters the crew didn't understand the problem and even looked through a handbook for answers. The crew discussed airspeed and altitude, but not the plane's trim meant to keep the plane level, the real problem. In the final seconds of the fatal dive, the captain remained quiet. The first officer asked God for a miracle. NBC News has not reviewed the recordings or the transcripts.
It would have been a very frightening for the pilots for sure, that really didn't know. They would be asking each other, what is it doing now?
Veteran 737 Captain Aaron Murphy says simply flipping 2 switches should have disabled MCAS and corrected the trim.
I'm disabling the MCAS by doing the trim cutout switches.
Investigators believe a single sensor fed bad data suggesting the plane could stall. The same issue threatened the same plane a day earlier on another flight. Bloomberg reports an off-duty pilot who was in the cockpit told the crew how to disable the system. That very plane crashed the next day.
I think the key for investigators both in Lion Air and in Ethiopia is to look at the depth and the breadth of training and determine what event started the response by these pilots.
Investigators say the Indonesian crash is very similar to the Ethiopian crash last week.
Happening now in China, multiple people have been injured after a huge explosion that occurred at a plant in Hong Kong this morning. So here's what we know. This explosion actually occurred very early this morning, and it was so large that it was believed to have even triggered a magnitude 2.2 earthquake. So you can see some of the damages there and some of that thick black smoke rising into the air. And right now there's no immediate reports of any deaths, but several people have been injured that were in nearby neighborhoods. But again, all that as a result of that huge explosion at a plant. And that's a look at what's happening now over in China. Mike, I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
Homeland Security Secretary Christian Nielsen will be in the Rio Grande Valley later this afternoon. Nielsen is scheduled to meet with more than 24 sheriffs to go over immigration issues in South Texas. Nueces County Sheriff John Hooper will be part of that discussion. The event will take place at the U.S. Border Patrol station in McAllen. Kris 6 News reporter Emily Hamilton will be covering the visit, and we will, of course, hear from her later in our newscasts. Well, last year in April, we reported about the creation of a task force whose goal is to beautify North Beach.
That's right, and tonight that group will meet with the community to talk about their plans for the area. Sunrise reporter Chelsea Torres is live this morning along North Beach. So, Chelsea, Tonight's meeting is a big deal for people who live or work down in that area.
Definitely a big deal because this is the first time that the North Beach Infrastructure Task Force has publicly spoken to the community of North Beach, and County Commissioner of Precinct 1 Carolyn Vaughn says that she'll explain what the role is of the task force as well as what issues they will be addressing. It's been a whole year since the North Beach Infrastructure Task Force was created to help uplift North Beach.
People who live here don't really know anything about it. We know it was appointed last year, but we haven't heard really any details about what they've been up to, what their purpose is. So we know that they're trying to work for improvements here. So pretty excited.
The task force, comprised of County Commissioner Carolyn Vaughn, Dallas-based developer Jeff Blackard, engineer Jerry Shoemaker, and City Councilman Everett Roy, are hoping to resolve problems on North Beach.
The reason that the task force was formed was to look at the drainage, the stormwater, the flooding over there.
Task Force Chair Carolyn Vaughn points out the biggest problem North Beach has: drainage issues.
I think that we have the opportunity now to make a difference over there in the quality of life of those residents because it floods all the time. This has been an issue for decades and it's never been addressed.
With a lot of progression happening, North Beach resident Carrie Robertson-Meyer believes North Beach needs big investors to help with development.
Every time you talk about North Beach, the thing that you start with is, well, when the bridge comes. And so it's going to radically affect North Beach in so many ways.
As for now, the North Beach Community Association is eager to hear what will be said in the first public meeting with the task force.
We're excited to hear more about what they've accomplished, what they want to accomplish, what their purpose is, and what they're doing.
Now, Vaughn says about 800,000 people visit the Lexington and the aquarium every single year, so her focus is to bring more economic development here to North Beach. And she does tell us that here in the next coming weeks, the task force will have a presentation to give to City Council to show them what their plan is for the future. Mac, I'll go and send it back to you in the studio.
You bet. Thank you, Chelsea. Good morning, everybody. Your traffic brought to you by Sames Ford. It's hour of the morning. We're looking at the northwest side of town. There's the Cal Allen area, and 69 looking pretty good. 37's doing well as we're looking at 37 through Refinery Row. No issues right about there. A little bit of traffic just beginning to get going on Leopard and on Lexington as well. And we'll go all the way to the south end. SPID looking well, so is the Crosstown intersection. We've got some dry north winds that came in overnight, and all of a sudden, you're going to see the sun today. Pretty exciting stuff. We'll talk more about that in just a moment.
If you were injured in a crash, you may be entitled to recover damages. Call Tom.
You're watching Kris 6 News Sunrise.
Welcome back. We're at 6:15 now, and the latest ratings are in for the safest pickup trucks. And as NBC's Dan Sheneman is discovering, there might be some room for improvement. Take a look.
Pickup trucks are popular, but are they as safe as they should be? The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety says some should be safer.
We were disappointed by the results.
11 models of pickups, large and small, were tested by the Institute. The goal, determine how much protection the vehicles offer front seat passengers.
It's the kind of thing that might happen if a driver unsuccessfully tried to avoid a frontal crash with another vehicle.
The findings, a couple of models did well.
The Ford F-150, the Ram 1500, the Nissan Titan are all rated good in this test.
As for some of the other models, there's room for improvement.
So the worst performer is the Toyota Tundra, but we also have less than good performances from the Nissan Frontier and both the large and small versions of the Chevrolet GMC pickup trucks.
The Institute says only one model made their list of top safety picks.
Best overall pickup among the 11 here is the Honda Ridgeline because it's got pretty good performance in the right side overlap test, good performance in all the other tests.
Something to consider with more families using trucks to carry the kids rather than cargo. Dan Sheneman, NBC News.
One of the many challenges people face when getting ready to go to college is how they're going to pay for tuition.
Well, fortunately, many schools offer financial help. That does include Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Reporter Roland Rodriguez joins us live from the Island University. And Roland, talk to us. How do students go about getting scholarships?
Hi, good morning, guys, and good morning, South Texas. I would say one of the best ways is putting in the work, not only in the classroom, but doing the research. There's millions of scholarship dollars out there. As students commit to a college, they face yet another hurdle, finding the money for 4 years of tuition payments.
There are absolutely many ways to be able to finance your education. We have many available admission counselors that are available to our students to meet with the students, to meet with the parents, to be able to walk them through the application process every step of the way.
Colleges are one of the largest providers of grants and scholarships, so use smart strategies to maximize your chances of getting scholarship money.
When you take a look at the application process, aim for 50 applications. Take a look at the different websites, even some of the local businesses that you support. You know, some of the local eateries will provide some sort of national scholar applications. So again, the more scholarship applications that you put out there, the better your options will be.
But yes, it is very important to consider also the financial aid on the kind of scholarships that the school is providing. I believe nobody wants to be in a huge debt by the end of graduation.
Spend your time searching for scholarships that match your experience and interests through free websites.
And there is also a private scholarship section that is going to provide students with a list of different databases and the information of deadlines that they can, so they can complete their scholarships applications.
Every dollar counts when trying to cover an ever-growing college bill.
For our university, for Texas A&M Corpus Christi, about 85% of students that apply for the general undergraduate scholarships application will receive a scholarship every year.
Keep in mind application deadlines. Yeah, you miss a deadline, you're missing a great opportunity. Priscilla?
And thanks so much. And gas prices are on the rise across the nation right in time for spring. The average price for a gallon of regular unleaded has surged to $2.58. That's the highest price since November. Experts say consumers are driving more as the weather improves, and refinery capacity is an issue. Gas taxes are also a factor here. Analysts say gas prices should continue to rise through Memorial Day. And the American Kennel Club has released their list of the most popular dog breeds. Labrador Retrievers once again took the top spot for the 28th consecutive year. Fans credit the lab's playful nature, intelligence, and good temperament. By the way, German Shepherds are the second most popular breed, followed by Golden Retrievers. French Bulldogs and Bulldogs follow next.
All right, so we had the list of the best trucks and the best dogs.
Yeah.
That all kind of goes together, doesn't it?
I've got two of those dogs on that list.
Do you really?
Yeah, I've got a French Bulldog and a Lab.
Oh, man.
Wow.
See, one of
You
those.
picked out the best.
But the labs have those faces like.
Yeah.
What about the killer poodles? Where did they? Because I got one of those.
They didn't come in.
The killer poodle.
The killer poodle. I have the killer chihuahuas. They got one. That's what we have. And you know, you're not coming in the house if he doesn't want you to. So do watch out. Hey, good morning, everybody. We're looking at your weather. It's 54 degrees. Guess what? The north wind blew in about midnight. All of a sudden, we've got some drier air coming in, and we're going to be looking for sunshine today. Yes, the clouds are scattered, but they're slowly improving. Yesterday we got up to 70. Today we'll stay at around 70, even though that north wind's coming in to dry us up and give us some sunshine, something you haven't seen in about 2 months. Notice right about here, the sky conditions are clear, 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 clear. So we're looking at that north wind bringing us some drier mid-level air, and all that low cloud cover that we've had and this nasty drizzly stuff will be going away today. Now at this hour we still have some fog down south. The winds haven't gotten there just yet, but to the north everybody's got good 10-mile visibility and better now. So the temperatures actually dropped about 10 degrees since midnight as that north wind came in. So north winds do a major difference for us. It's not just the cold air, it's cooler, drier air, and that's going to be very helpful. Here's our little front. It'll continue dropping south toward the valley, and then high pressure is coming in, finally giving us Wow, sunshine. It's been, what, 2 months? We haven't seen any of that. This is an important storm that's now rolling through the Ohio Valley. That's the one that was over the Midwest. And I'm giving my farmers a heads up. These are the states that have been affected by that massive storm last week with the massive flooding. You got to remember, they had 80, 90-mile-an-hour winds, and now with the flooding, 4/5 of Iowa is underwater or was underwater. They're already calling this a billion-dollar disaster, but Wisconsin, Minnesota, South Dakota, Nebraska, all affected by floodwaters, and then all that's going to be going down the Mississippi over the next couple of days, if not weeks. So higher pressure gives us better weather. We are looking for drier air, and things are looking good for today, Thursday, and tomorrow, Friday. Now, Friday night, we start seeing the clouds roll in from the west. And then Friday afternoon, we'll start seeing thunderstorms pop along that front. On Saturday, as it moves through the central part of the states, we'll have some scattered thunder showers around the state, some even in our area. This is going to be interesting to see if we get any thunder and lightning out of this, but that'll be on Saturday. So yes, the sun today. Don't be afraid. It's okay. The sun is good. And then tomorrow as well, but the clouds increase for Saturday, and that's when we have the isolated shower possibility. But the good news is next week we've got some better weather, certainly better than what we had last 2 months. Your 7-day forecast brought to you by NEC Co-op Energy. We'll be right back with more, but first we've got birthdays. If you know someone's got a birthday coming up, friend or family, just sit there on your couch, go to the website, and upload a photo, and we'll be happy to send them a birthday greeting, just like right now. So happy birthday to all of our sunrisers.
When you're in pain, when you're going through all this stress from an accident, you want to have that backup. And Herman did do that for us. They supported us. They made sure that we were having the proper treatment, therapy, everything we needed. Herman was devoted to us.
Black celebrates its 84th anniversary with a special customer appreciation sale. We want to be accountable.
Welcome back, folks. Happening now, a school district in Virginia has decided to close their schools today as police are investigating a threat made online. So police say yesterday afternoon the Charlottesville School District got an email from a concerned citizen regarding that possible threat. That email said that an unknown person had posted an image online about a threat directed toward those schools. So of course, with the safety of the students in mind, school officials did decide to close their schools today. In the meantime, detectives are working with police and the FBI to look into who made that threat there. And that's a look at what's happening now over in Virginia. Mike, I'll go ahead and send it back to you.
And in health news this morning, new research from UCLA suggests that exposure to pesticides very early in life may increase the risk of autism. The study included over 35,000 people born during the same year in a heavily agricultural region of California. Those exposed to several pesticides before birth and in the first year of life were slightly more likely to be diagnosed with the developmental disorder. New technology at a North Carolina medical center that is improving treatment for brain cancer is something called gamma knife surgery. It works by destroying cells so they don't grow, shrinking the size of the tumors over time. That makes it easy to treat a large number of tumors in a single session. Doctors say the gamma knife machine can deliver a high dose of radiation to a very small target without making an incision or affecting healthy surrounding tissue. The biggest benefit is the precision, accuracy, and convenience for patients.
If you go back 25 or 30 years, almost everybody with that condition had surgery. And now probably less than 10% of them have surgery, have downtime, they don't have a hospital stay, and they have the 1 day of treatment and they go back and live their life.
Now, another benefit to this new model is that some patients use a mask placement instead of a traditional frame which screws titanium pins into one's skull. The mask requires no anesthesia and causes no pain. Some treatments take as little as 15 minutes.
Heart failure affects thousands of Americans every year, and devices like a pacemaker don't work for every patient. Now, doctors in North Texas say a new device the size of a grain of rice may provide new hope. Bianca Castro reports.
I would do a cruise as long as it's in the summer. Anytime after August, I'm going to do a cruise.
There's nothing more important than family to Angela Tasby, who at age 41 was diagnosed with congestive heart failure.
I want to be back at good health. I want to be able to go on vacations with my husband and my kids and my family.
So to do that, doctors tried implanting a pacemaker and defibrillator, meant to regulate the electrical signals inside her heart, causing it to pump irregularly. The treatment didn't work.
Despite this technology being around for about 20 years now, we run against some anatomical factors. So just the way people are put together makes it so that about 1 out of every 4 individuals that needs that special wire, that special lead that goes over to the left side, just can't get one.
All kind of fear thoughts go through your mind. You're like, okay, you're like, what is next? But then I just kept hope.
And hope came in a clinical trial happening at Baylor Heart Hospital in Plano. An electrode the size of a BB is implanted inside the heart. A transmitter near the ribs sends ultrasound pulses to the electrode to keep the heart pumping. Angela is one of just 15 people in the nation to enroll in the trial and get the technology.
The best case scenario would be that she lives a long and happy life and heart failure is not a part of her day-to-day concerns.
I'm taking it slow, one day at a time.
It's been about 3 months since Angela's 2-day procedure.
I feel good today. I've came a long way.
And now can switch her focus from her failing heart to a future with her family.
I haven't even experienced having grandkids yet. I want to be able to enjoy my grandkids and be able to babysit and keep up with them.
Well, good morning, everybody. Your traffic brought to you by Sames Ford. At this hour of the morning, things are looking pretty good on the northwest side of the city. There's the Calallen area, and we go to the north side. 37's looking good with just some traffic going on Lexington right about there. As you know, of course, there is the construction along the new Harbor Bridge. We are looking for sun today. Yes, sun, because last night or about midnight, a north wind came in and eroded all that cloud cover. So improving weather. We'll talk more about it in just a moment.
Kickapoo Lucky Eagle Casino Hotel.
It's only a short drive from home.
Over 3,300 slots, poker, and live bingo.
I come for the drinks. It's a great place to celebrate. Come and play.
We're having a huge 2019 blowout sale. 2020s are arriving daily, so grab your manufacturer price increase protected RV now. New 2020 Puma 27 RVQC.
Or up to $1,000 cash. Mission completed.
Come and play.
This is Kris 6 News Sunrise.
We are back at 6:35, and the Houston Astros are gearing up for the season with hopes of getting back to the World Series. Here's Kris 6 Sports Director Alan Harwell.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Later tonight, we're going to wrap up our special series camping with the Astros from West Palm Beach, Florida. In our final installment, Jeff Dubrov will take a look at what the Astros will have to do to defend their American League West championship and make it back to the World Series after falling just a little bit short last season. The Astros have high hopes, but do they have enough to make a serious run at the championship? Find out later tonight on Kris 6 Sports at 6 and 10 o'clock. Speaking of baseball, the latest Texas High School Baseball.com Class 5A rankings are out, top 25. We've got 6 area teams ranked. Got to show them to you. Number 3, Calallen. Number 4, Veterans Memorial. King checks in at number 9. And then you got Moody at 20, followed by Carroll and Gregory Portland. They know how to play baseball in South Texas. And that is a look at your Sunrise Sports. I'll see you back here later tonight. Make it a great Thursday.
It's been almost a year since the creation of the North Beach Infrastructure Task Force, and tonight they're finally meeting with North Beach residents and business owners. Sunrise reporter Chelsea Torres is live this morning along North Beach. So Chelsea, tell us what we can expect at that meeting tonight.
Well, this is the first time that the North Beach Infrastructure Task Force has met publicly with the North Beach community, and County Commissioner Carolyn Vaughn says that she'll explain the role of the task force as well as addressing any issues that North Beach may have. Now, the task force comprised of County Commissioner of Precinct 1 Carolyn Vaughn, Dallas-based developer Jeff Blackard, engineer Jerry Shoemaker, and City Councilman Everett Roy are hoping to resolve problems on North Beach. Task Force Chair Carolyn Vaughn points out the biggest problem North Beach has, which are drainage issues. Tonight, the North Beach Community Association is eager to hear what will be said in the first meeting with the task force.
The reason that the task force was formed was to look at the drainage, the stormwater, the flooding over there. I think that we have the opportunity now to make a difference over there in the quality of life of those residents, because it floods all the time. This has been an issue for decades and it's never been addressed.
Now, although Vaughn did not go into detail of what else will come up at the meeting, she does say that it is open to the public for any comments or concerns. Vaughn also tells us that about 800,000 people visit the Lexington Aquarium every year, and she really wants to give North Beach that chance to bring up that economic development. She also tells us that here in the next few weeks, the task force will have a presentation to the City Council on what's to come in the future. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
And of course, that's important because North Beach plays a big role in the tourist economy that we have here.
Well, imagine the Lexington and the aquarium every year. Thousands of people come to that. So the more we do over there, the better off we are. We're looking at your WeatherBug camera out in the Rockport area where it's a little fuzzy, but I think it's the camera. We've got clearing skies. Things are looking better, folks. You're going to see the sun today. Haven't done that in over 2 months. It's 55 in Rockport. It's 54 out at the airport. Temperatures actually dropped about 10 degrees since 10 o'clock last night as that north wind comes in. Drier air is going to make things better. Look, we got clear skies, clear. And we haven't done that in, I don't know, a while. We are looking at a little bit of fog down south as the north wind continues dropping southward with that little front, but everybody to the north has got good visibility, 10 miles and better. That north wind is finally eroding all that mid-level cloud cover that's been hanging around. So with good result today, that continues dropping southward, and all of a sudden you'll get to thaw out and get a tan maybe. Now on the west coast, we've got this monstrous storm that is rolling toward us. We got some video to show you what it did yesterday on the first day of spring in all places like Southern California, where they got what looks like snow, but it's really just a blanket of hail. This is, I believe, Long Beach of all places. So down at sea level to get cold air that far down, that's pretty unusual. And of course, the hail caused some flooding as well. So all of a sudden, Southern California was under the gun for what looks like snow there. Those are very cold storm clouds. They're actually snow clouds, just a few more degrees, but that is now rolling into Arizona. Now that is going to be crossing the Rockies and moving into the plains, and that's when we're going to have to watch very carefully because, well, for the short term, we've got good weather. You can see how the dry air dropping down, and we should see sun today and tomorrow. Good looking couple of days, Thursday, Friday. On Friday night, we start seeing the clouds develop from the west. Now, what I'm talking about is severe weather throughout much of North Texas. We're on the southern end of it, but for the first time in a long time, we have the possibility of some storms developing. These are thunder showers, not the little light rain that we see, and you can see it right about there. They'll be widely scattered and too isolated, but a couple thunder showers around the area are going to be interesting, and that's Saturday. By Sunday, things actually improve a little bit better, and we should have a pretty good week next week, so I think we turned the corner on all that soupy stuff. So sun today, that's the forecast. 73 tomorrow, isolated shower Saturday, not bad for Sunday, and Monday and Tuesday are looking pretty good, as well as temperatures start getting a little bit more reasonable for this time of year. That's your 7-day forecast brought to you by NEC Co-op Energy. We'll be right back with more coming up right after this.
An accident with a company vehicle is not just another car accident.
One simple plan sounds great to me. At NEC Co-op Energy, we have just one plan and honest pricing. For electricity rates in your area, visit necoopenergy.com.
Welcome back. The time is now 6:44 on this Friday Eve, or better known as Thursday, March 21st. We're taking a live look from our SPID live sky cam. It's a little hazy, I guess, but that might just be our cameras. I'm not sure. Or if you're like Mike and took an allergy medicine, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, I think things are a little hazy for me all over this morning.
But Max says there will be sunshine later today. Well, Del Mar College is receiving a big gift today, which will help those who are looking for work. For more, we go to Kris 6 News anchor Lee Sonsley.
Well, good morning. As more and more new industry moves into the coastal bend, there is a growing need for a trained workforce, and Gulf Coast Growth Ventures, the folks behind the new Exxon Plastics plant over in San Patricio County, doing their part to help grow a skilled workforce. Later today, they'll announce a major gift to the Del Mar College workforce programs. That donation will enable the college to purchase new equipment and enhance workforce training programs such as process technology, millwrighting, welding, environmental and petrochemical lab technology, and transportation training, all of which are in demand career fields here in the coastal bend as our economy grows. Have yourself a great day. We'll see you here today at 6.
And one of the many challenges faced by parents is how to pay for a child's college education. Now, fortunately, many schools offer financial help, and that certainly includes Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Roland Rodriguez is at the Island University this morning. And Roland, tell us what students can do to score some scholarships.
Good morning, Mike, and good morning, South Texas. I guess you could say putting in the work in the classroom, that always helps. And doing the research, there's millions of dollars of scholarship money out there. You just have to go look for it. And I guess you could also say the bottom line is, there's no limits to what hard work and determination can get you. As students commit to college, they face yet another hurdle, finding the money for 4 years of tuition payments. Colleges are one of the largest providers for grants and scholarships, so use smart strategies to maximize your chances of getting scholarship money. Every dollar counts when trying to cover an ever-growing college bill.
When you take a look at the application process, aim for 50 applications. Take a look at the different websites, even some of the local businesses that you support. Some of the local eateries will provide some sort of national scholar applications. So again, the more scholarship applications that you put out there, the better your options will be.
One thing you should keep in mind is application deadline. Keep a list of each scholarship, its requirements, and its due dates. Again, a missed deadline is also a missed opportunity. Mike.
All right, thanks for the info, Roland. Hey, if you own a pickup truck, pay attention here. The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety has released new crash test ratings. The popular Ford F-150 was one of the top performers out of 11 pickups tested in passenger side crashes. Also earning a good rating, the Nissan Titan. Both the F-150 and the Titan joined the Ram 1500, whose good rating was released late last year. Honda's Ridgeline earned an acceptable rating in the passenger side test and is the only pickup so far to qualify for the 2019 Top Safety Pick Award. The Toyota Tundra earned the only poor rating among those tested.
A man accused of targeting some of President Trump's critics by mailing them bombs is expected to plead guilty in a Florida courtroom today. Cesar Sayoc Jr. has been charged with sending homemade pipe bombs to prominent Democrats such as former President Barack Obama and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. He also sent the explosive devices to the New York headquarters of CNN. At least a dozen suspected mail bombs were intercepted before Sayoc was arrested in late October. He now faces up to life in federal prison.
A jury has decided that Monsanto's Roundup weed killer played a role in causing cancer. It's the second time in 8 months that a jury has reached a decision like that. But 70-year-old Edwin Herman's case against the company is the first to be tried in federal court. Hardiman claims that he used Roundup since the 1980s and developed cancer back in 2015. Another man also sued the company back in August and received a payout of $78 million, which is still pending.
This is a big loss for Bayer and Monsanto. It proves that juries are being convinced that Roundup is causing cancer.
Now, the company says they are disappointed in the jury's decision and continue to believe that their product does not cause cancer. Monsanto is expected to be back in court for a third trial next week. Time for a quick break. We'll come right back then and look at some of our top stories today.
That's right, and Mac will have a final check of the forecast. We'll be right back.
Before you open your eyes, the world has changed.
It is a very big news day. Our top story.
The stories that move us.
These folks are remaining Beauregard strong.
Mr. Roker, oh my Lord. Welcome to all the possibilities today can bring.
I'm David Zalman, CEO of Prosperity Bank. Whether you're looking to finance a home or an office building, we can handle it. If you're our customer, thank you. If not, you should be. Come see what Prosperity can do for you.
Hi, I'm Luis Perez, owner of both.
We're in. Thank you, Prosperity.
Prosperity is the big bank with your community's bank inside.
You're watching Kris 6 News Sunrise.
8 minutes away from 7 o'clock now. Here's a look at what's making news this morning. New Zealand is implementing new gun laws following the mosque attack in Christchurch. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern made the announcement during a news conference yesterday. She said that her administration is immediately banning every semi-automatic weapon like those used in that deadly terrorist attack. The Prime Minister said that it would be followed by new legislation to be introduced next month. Meanwhile, a man accused of sharing the video of the Christchurch massacre has been jailed by a judge until his next court appearance in mid-April. Philip Arps appeared in a court there on 2 charges of distributing the killer's live stream video of last week's attack. Each charge carries a maximum sentence of 14 years in prison. The 44-year-old has not entered a plea deal, and the judge denied him bail.
I therefore intend to remand the defendant in custody on these matters. And I will hear from counsel in a minute as to when that appropriate date is.
Arps is said to have distributed the video on the day after the massacre.
New details are being released, shedding light on the moments before 2 fatal crashes involving Boeing 737 MAX 8 jetliners. Reuters reports just before the Lion Air crash, killing 189 people last October, the pilots were desperately going through the jet's handbook, trying to stop it from repeatedly diving toward the ground. Meanwhile, flight recorder data from the Ethiopian air crash earlier this month indicates a faulty sensor ordered the jet to take a dive. Boeing's CEO is trying to offer assurance to the public.
We're united with our airline customers, international regulators, and government authorities in our efforts to support the most recent investigation, understand the facts of what happened, and help prevent future tragedies.
Boeing has now suspended delivery of all its new MAX jetliners until the problems have been resolved.
A woman accused of abusing her 7 adopted children and forcing them to participate in YouTube videos is in custody this morning. 48-year-old Michelle Hobson faces several charges, including unlawful imprisonment. Her children reportedly told police that she would beat them, then lock them in a closet without food, water, or access to a bathroom for days. The Arizona woman allegedly did these things to the children if they forgot their lines or didn't perform as they were directed in her YouTube videos.
When I saw them out there, it wasn't like normal, like they're excited to be making a video. It was more like, you stand here, you do this, and the little kids would just stand there and wait their turn.
Hobson's 2 adult sons are also facing charges of failing to report the abuse of a minor. The YouTube videos have since been taken down.
Well, happening now near Houston, a shelter-in-place is in effect for parts of Deer Park, Texas this morning. That's the area where those tanks caught fire earlier this week. This map gives you an idea of just where that shelter-in-place is in effect for. Now, this fire, as you see, has since been put out, but officials say they're seeing high levels of benzene in the air, and it's also causing a very strange smell for the entire city there. So meanwhile, officials have closed part of a highway until further notice. So you can see here traffic just building up on that highway there. In the meantime, we do know at least 6 school districts have also decided to close their schools today. All this as a result of that shelter in place. Again, no word on how long that will last, but it is in fact in place right now. And that's a look at what's happening now over near Houston. Guys, back to you.
All right, Ashley, thanks so much. Immigration will be the main topic today in the Rio Grande Valley, where Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen will be in attendance. Nielsen is scheduled to meet with more than 24 county sheriffs to go over immigration issues in South Texas. Nueces County Sheriff John Hooper will be a part of those discussions. The event will take place at the U.S. Border Patrol station in McAllen, and Kris 6 News reporter Emily Hamilton will be covering that meeting, and we'll have more from her tonight on Kris 6 News. Mac, one thing I have to say, I heard the sun is going to shine today.
Yes, Priscilla, we're doing good. All of a sudden, things are looking up for us, folks. After, 2 months of that soupy weather, we finally are looking for clearing skies. What happened is at about midnight last night, or just a few minutes ago, the north wind came in, and that's bringing in some drier air from the north with a very weak front. You can see clear skies right about here. Now, do we have the picture of the moon? Do we have... There it is, folks. Now, that is a Skycam picture of the moon. Now, when was the last time you saw the moon? Think about that for a minute with the overcast skies. So clear skies. We do have a little thin fog down at the surface, but the north wind is coming in, and that has eroded all that cloud deck that we had over our area. So things are looking up for today and tomorrow. And, of course, the weekend. Well, we'll get to that in a moment. Let's take a look at what's going on. We do have some fog to the south, but that's also going to clear up as the gentle north wind is moving down and slowly eroding away all that moisture that we had over the region. So that's going to give us a good day for your Thursday and a good day for your Friday as well. But when we get to Saturday, things get interesting. Notice here's the front. It continues dropping to the south. Pretty good looking Thursday and Friday, but Friday night clouds start rolling in from the west, and as that storm from the west coast starts moving ashore, you can see the thunder showers that are going to pop ahead of it. Now there's one right there, and there's another one coming in late Friday and into Saturday. Saturday is the peak of the instability, and that's when we have the possibility of getting some isolated thunder showers around here. The big stuff's going to be in North Texas. We're the southern end of it. So for today, yes, look, sun. Right there. Sun, 73, and tomorrow, not bad. Clouds and a few thunder showers on Saturday, and then early next week, we've got some better weather as well. Now, do we have the video from Los Angeles? That was an interesting thing. The storm that's coming at us from the Pacific ran through Southern California, and of all places, Long Beach, California, looks like it got snow. Now, it's actually hail that came down to sea level. That's pretty weird. In fact, the hail also caused quite a bit of flooding as well.
Wow. All right, Mac, thanks so much. Well, thank you for joining us on Sunrise this morning. Have a great day.
Hey, we do hope to see you right back here later today for Kris 6 News at noon.
Kris 6 News is a presentation of Kris Communications, the Coastal Bend's most watched source for local news.
Good morning. Bring it on. President Trump pushes for the public release of the Mueller report.
Let it come out. Let people see it.
This morning,